Welcome back, everybody, to Unconditional Surrender in Europe, game designed by Salvatore Vasta, published by GMT Games. This is the German Diplomatic Disaster series of videos. We are getting ready to go into April of 1944. The weather is poor everywhere, and away we go. Nobody declared war, so we go into the economies, not the turns. Thank you. The Russians are at 56. The British are at 34. The Germans are at 28. And I forgot to take one off. I gave one to the Hungarians and forgot to do that right away. Right now we're doing strategic warfare. He has a partisans and ultra and partisans for the West. So things are not looking for good for the Germans there. Because they don't have any. I don't think I have any subs, do I? Oh, yes, I do have subs. So, 0 to 4 against the Russians. Soviets play their partisans marker, I think. We're doing combat commitment, which we both put it in there. My submarines and his. I don't think I have this set. No, I don't. So it's not jumping. We should be up here in the North Atlantic someplace. Yes, he played partisans, I played subs. I rolled a dismal 1. Even halved, because he's +4, makes it a 5 is the worst he can get. Halved 2.5 becomes a 3, which will guarantee that I lose a factory. So my gamble didn't work, so I lose a factory to 7. He starts playing the next one, and I said, you gotta roll. Partisans come back in 5, submarines come back in 6. And then he played his Ultra. I don't have anything to play. And he is at +6. I'm at +2. He's at +6. Means the minimum he's going to get is a 7. And the best I can get is an 8 halved to a 4. So again, I just lose a factory. Don't even need to roll the dice. Now we're doing strategic movement. And get these things down so you can see. And I believe I took the infantry unit that was in the Alps there and moved it into Brest because I didn't want to give him a free invasion. I wanted to make him work for it. As you can see, he's got the 5th Army and a bunch of British garrisons over here, and then he has the 1st Army here, which was cut off and flipped last turn. So he's going to have problems with that one. West, I don't think he had one. And then the Soviets just took theirs off. And then they started to try to move that guy, and he said, you can't move that guy, he's not on a rail line. So then he took that guy and moved him up to Warsaw. And he's got to make sure that he keeps 5 guys within 3 hexes of this dashed red line, because that's Russia. So it's his home garrison. He's got to keep 2 airplanes within 3 hexes of that and 5 guys within 3 hexes of that. So, and then we're in operations phase. I am not sure exactly what I'm doing. I think I'm in the West. Yes, the Hungarians. How am I doing? Okay, so I moved the... Oh, that was me giving the Hungarians a point. I had forgotten to give them a point on my track over there. So, activate the Panzer. infantry and the garrison to go after the first armored, which is flipped. So it's +1 for American, +1 for armor. That's just what it is. -2 because it's flipped. Puts it down to 0, and then another -2 because it's in low supply. And I was at 3 for the armor, 4, 5, and then -1 for the weather. So I started off at +4. He started off at -2. And what did we do here? Did we do combat commitment? Well, I forgot to add 2 for isolation. So I did my count again. So I'm actually +6 to his -2. We go into combat commitment. We both committed. I threw my airplane. He threw, I don't know which one of these airplanes. I think it's the one in London, but I'm not sure. So now we have to do an air combat. I'm at -2 net. I rolled a 3, so I became a 1. And he rolled a 2, which became, he was -1. He's 0, +1 for American, -2 for weather, so he's net -1. So he gets through as well. So, oh, it was the guy in Southampton. I'm sorry, he used that one. Then we go to doing 2 for armor, 2 for German, 1 for armor, 1 for a buddy, 1 for a buddy, 1 for airplane, and 2 for isolation, -1 for the weather. +7 to +1. I rolled a 5 +7 is a 12. Doesn't matter what he rolls. At -1, he's going to at least be retreated, so he's eliminated instead. Then I move 7th Garrison to go sit in ports. This garrison moves into Rotterdam. That infantry goes into Antwerp. What else did I do here? Then I move up here to go after the 10th with the 4th Garrison and the 3rd Hungarian. We go to combat commitment. We both commit. I threw my ground support. He threw an airplane. I threw my tanks. He threw his tanks. And I threw in my airplane. So now I think we go do a... Oh, and he also threw in an Ultra. And now we're doing the air combat. I'm at -3. He's at -1. I ended up with a grand total of 2. He rolled a 6 -1 is a 5, so I took 2 sorties for that. And he took 1, but we both got through. And so now we go do the combat. He starts off at... he's -1 because he's British, +1 for the tanks, +1 for the Ultra, +1 for the airplane, which puts him up to +2. And then I start off at 0, +1 for a buddy, +1 for ground support, +1 for the tank, +1 for the airplane, -1. So it was +3 to +2. Not very good odds. Rolled a 3 +3 was a 6. He rolled a 3 +2 was 5, so nothing happened. So we held. I go put our stuff on the thing, and then he rolls for his Ultra. I don't remember what he rolled for his Ultra. 6. So it's not coming back for a little while. Then I had these 2 guys attack the Gibraltar. So I start off at +2, +1 is 3, -1, so I'm +2 to -1 to start with. We go to combat commitment. I throw in my airplane because he can't stop me, because he's -1 at least, even with a good airplane. So he takes a sortie, I take a sortie, we both get in. He throws his tanks here too, I think. Oh, I told him he couldn't use that airplane. So he threw in the bomber instead. You'll see him do that here in a second. There you go. And then he threw in his tanks, so he got up to a +1. So was +3 to +1. So we can get rid of that. I rolled a 6 + 3 is a 9, and he rolled a 5, so that eliminated him. So I went ahead and took the hex. I had to threaten to get some of these things out of my way. And stakes go off. And now I'm in the east. And I believe over here I'm just kind of doing some maneuvering to get things out of the way here. It's like, first off, I have to get the Hungarian out of the way. Since Yugoslavia is conquered, I can actually move into Yugoslavia now. Then I moved the Africa army 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into Posen 7, 8, 9. So I kind of connecting the dots there. And then I was done. I didn't have that many. I had 15 points left. I figured on something was going to happen in the east and I was going to need points. I also have on the track some airplanes to rebuild and stuff. So we're just going to see what happens here. We go into Western Ops. He was talking about invading here and asking if he could attack this fourth, and I said yes, and he can add in these guys, was his question. So I was like, yeah, do it in the right order. So he plays a surprise attack marker, moves these guys out, takes Cherbourg, and attacks. He gets to add in the fleet with it, throws a partisans on it. You're supposed to do that first because you have to do it all in one sequence. I'm letting him get away with a lot of things out of sequence that I shouldn't. So, and then he decided not to throw that guy in. I don't know what's going on. So I was at a -2, and he was at 1, 2 for American and armor, +1 for the fleet, +1 for an airplane, +1 for a buddy, and -1 for the weather. So it was like +3 to -2. And he rolled a 6 + 3 at -2. It doesn't matter. I can't survive. So he takes the hex, sets the partisan aside so he remembers to roll for it. Then he had the 5th. If it attacked. Oh, and then he placed a mulberry because he ended his invasion turn on a coastal hex, so he placed the mulberry there and put his fleets in Cherbourg. You can go into Cherbourg, can they? I'm not sure about that. Anyway, then he had this in the 5th Armored Unit attack the garrison unit. Throws in an airplane. So ends up at 1, 2, 3, -1. So he's +3 to my 0 total. And he rolls a 5 + 3 is an 8. I roll a 1, so I'm eliminated. Takes the hex. So he's doing very, very well. What am I doing next? He moved the American convoy, moved the American convoy with the fleet. I'll bring Malta into Liverpool. And then he has the fleet. Oh, yeah, actually had the fleet go here. He's basically stacking up his fleets. And he brings the, to supply things. And now he's working in Italy. So here we go. He's +2 against Vaslov. Plus an airplane makes him +3. And then he's -1 for the weather and -1 for the mountains. Rolls a 5, +1 is a 6. I rolled a 4, so I had to retreat. I had to think about where I wanted to retreat to, and I decided to retreat there. Because if he took the hex, then the first garrison would have been isolated. So I was trying to keep him from being isolated. He chose not to take the hex, and attacks with the second armored. He's going to end up, I think, pretty much in the same place. Rolls a 2 +1, 3. I rolled a 1, which actually eliminated me. 3, 4, 5, 6. And he said, "Oh." When he counted, it's like, oh, 1, 2, 3. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He needed 2 points to take Marseille, so he said, "Nah, don't think we'll go there." Instead, he'll go ahead and take that hex. And then he moves the garrison army over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here, and then 6, 7. So that I can't rail into Marseille. And then this guy goes 3, 4, 5. So he's kind of given up on the on the run to push up through the Alps, and it looks like he's shifting to the south of France. He does go ahead and throw an assault for kicks. He's 1, 2, 3, -2. I think he's +1 to +2. He forgot that he had to. We forgot I had an airplane there. He's like, I would have run that up. I said, oh, that's fine. He rolled a 2 +0 because he's -1 for the weather, -1. Why did he? Should have been +1, I think. Either way, it doesn't matter. He doesn't take the hex. And I'm not sure he did anything else here. Oh, he's just running up supply now, and I think this is where I said, hey, you forgot to do your bombers. And he's like, oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot to do my bombers. So you don't need to just stack them up there, how many ever you're going to run. And he ran in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he runs up these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he's done. And we're off to the east. So terrible, horrible things going to happen over here in the east. I don't even remember where he starts. Oh, he starts with his airplane to take out mine. 5 -2 is a 3, so I needed to roll a 6, and I didn't, so I take 2. And then I think he does something similar here in the south to take out the airplane in Vienna. So he had a 3 and I had a 1, so I took 2, took 1, and then he ran me up with the guy in the north. He got another one of those 5 -2 is a 3, and then I rolled a 1. So, and then he starts thinking about that and says, no, I'm not sure I want to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to go after the first instead, so he can possibly kill German units. This is us doing the combat count here. Throws in a tank and an airplane. So it ends up at +1, +1 armor, +2 for another armor, +1. And added in heavy artillery on top of it. Ended up with an 11. I rolled a 3. Deleted it. I was flipped in forced to retreat. He rolled a 6 on his artillery, so it's not coming back for a while. And he decided to take that. Hex goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Then he started to try to do that assault. I said, you can't have him assault twice. This is us just going back to show what he had done. And he's like, okay, this is the guy that's supposed to end up in there so that he can assault him, which is what he was trying to do. Starts off at +1, -1 for the weather, -1 for the mountains. So he's at -1 and I'm at 0. Think he held off on that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did this assault. Again, he tries to assault somebody who can't. I'm at 3 there. He's going to resolve this one first, I think. It starts off at 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 for an airplane, -1. So we're +3 to +3. Goes on and throws in a tank, so he gets up to +4. Or no, now he's doing the one up. Now he's doing the one up north with the tanks. He can't make up his mind which one he's going to do. He's not +1. He's not +2. What the hell's going on? He's at a 0. There we go. And then he threw in an airplane as well. So he's 1, 2 for the armor, 3 for the airplane, -2. Rough terrain and weather. So he rolls a 5. 4 + 1 is a 5. I rolled a 2. So I was forced to retreat. And he took the hex. And then now I think we're doing the one to the south. 3 rolls a 3 + 3 is a 6. 4 + 3 is a 7, so I held. There's this guy. Thought about it and said, no, I think I'm going to do it this way. It's going to have these 3 guys go after the Nor because can't retreat. And he decides not to do that. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then that guy goes 1, 2, 3 to go there. He brings his guards tanks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go there. So that's his attack there, and he throws in another heavy artillery, so he's got ridiculous numbers here. Yes, this is 2, and then another shock is 3, 4. This shock is 5, 6, 7, 8, and I think he throws an airplane in 2 for 9. No, he stopped at 8. -1 is 7. 4 + 7 is an 11. I rolled a 5, which is 11 to a 5 is a DD, in case you're wondering. 11 to a 5 is a DD. So I use willpower for that. Takes the city. Then he brings this armored unit across the river to help try and take on the 6th German army. I'm isolated, so he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Goes in an airplane 6 down 2, so he's +4, 2, +2. Then he throws in other tanks to get him up to +5 to +2. Rolls a 5 + 5 is a 10. 4 + 2 is a 6, so I'm flipped. And Why did I lose another willpower? Oh, now I'm confused. Thought I'd already taken a willpower off. This heavy artillery came back in 1. Nope, I guess I hadn't taken it off yet. Okay, so we're okay. Then the 6th Tanks Army, what's it going to do now? Can't remember what he does here. He gets that out of the way. And brings this Guards tank 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to attack the 17th, I believe. So right now he's at +4. I think he throws in an airplane. Oh no, he just went +3 to +2. Rolled a 9. I rolled a 3. Flipped and retreated. He takes the city. And then he has these 3 guys go after the 10th. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And an airplane is 6. It should end up at a net of +5 to +2. He rolls a 2, +5 is a 7. I rolled a 5, just enough to not be flipped. And onwards we go. Keeps thinking about moving that guy and finally goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go ahead and attack. He's at +1, I think he throws in an airplane, +2, -2. So I believe he's going to end up at 0. And he gets 2 for isolation. So +2 to 0, he rolls a 5. I only rolled a 3, so I'm eliminated. So he got 2 German armies there in poor weather. Flipped 2 others. Doing pretty good, I think. And I'm not sure. Oh, he moved his convoy up. And just went ahead and moved him up there so that he has somebody to help hold down his 5-unit garrison. Then he moves this guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 8. And he was not allowed to attack. Because that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. To attack that hex in poor weather, so I let him get away with 1. One, 2, 3. Now he's just moving some guys up to the line. And then he's done. So we go to no supply phase. I really thought about possibly pulling some airplanes and said, nah, I'll just leave them. We're in replacements. I flip over my 2 infantry here. Then I brought down this airplane. And the airplane in Italy. And then the other 2 on the eastern front. And that was... Oh, this is the West just doing their thing here in Italy. Then they go up here and do their supply. I think... Did I have... No, I didn't have my support, so he was... doing his airplanes, does his stuff in North America. And I think now we're over to the Soviets. Yeah, we're just doing the Soviets here. When we get to the upgrade phase, nobody had any upgrades. So we just rip right on through down to mobilization. The Americans get convoy and a fleet, carrier fleet. Diplomacy phase, we go to end of turn phase. I'm not going to get a whole lot. I get a tanks, and I get a paratrooper to build. He gets back his tanks. And he gets a Lend-Lease from the British. So the British factories will go up. And then it's us just putting stuff into our dead box. Then I rolled the weather. And the weather was a 6, 6, 1, 4. Whoops, wrong one. 6614 May, which is poor, poor, fair. So there is that. So I got some good weather there to keep him from being able to just bust out right away in the west or the east. So no declarations of war. We're just doing economies. I did not give one to the Hungarians this time, I don't think. And then we go to strategic warfare. Again, he's +4 to 0. I rolled a 5. Yay! Rolled a 3 + 4 is a 7, and a 5 to a 7 is a diamond, so I got a factory back. Woohoo! So I went down to 7. I was like, okay, well, I'll probably just lose it here to the west, right? And then we go to the west, where he's +7. I rolled a 4 + 2 is a 6. He rolled a 1 + 7 is an 8. And a 6 to an 8 is another diamond. So the Germans make a miraculous recovery in strategic warfare and get back down to only 6 lost factories from 8. Amazing. Strategic move. Took it off of there. I'm not sure exactly. I think I moved this Hungarian. Yep, I moved the Hungarian over to the west, to like Dijon, just to try and keep him from running too far. He did not have one. Did the Soviets do one? Soviets moved somebody. They... Nope, he just took it off of his guy. Okay, so we're into Axis operations. It's poor weather everywhere. Oh. Yeah, we forgot. We blew by his production phase, and we both realized that he had a surprise attack marker for the U.S., so it goes out into August. We just put it there. 3rd German Panzer Army is down here in Italy, and it's going to go on a little walk. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make his airplane fly away, flies to there, and then I go 8. And I just end there. Not going to attack or anything, just want to make his life miserable. Then I move the 11th Infantry. Moved out to there and did an assault. I brought the 1st Panzer down to also do an assault. The home guy. Why am I getting a little blue dot? I don't know. So he was starting off at -1. I started off at 3 +1 for a buddy, 4 -1. So I start off +3 to +1. We're going to combat commitment here. Yes, we're going to combat commitment. It was like, we don't even need to really check. I threw in my airplane. He threw in a tanks and an airplane from up here. He throws in the bomber again. Yeah, so I'm -4, he's -3. I rolled down to a 1, but he did not roll high enough to make me take 2, so his bomber takes 1, I take 1. We both get in, so he goes up to +1 for armor, +1 for a tank. And I go to +2 for German, +1 for an armor, +1 for a buddy, +1 for an airplane, -1, +4 to +1. I figured it's good enough. I rolled a 6 +4 is a 10. He rolled a 2, +1 is a 3, so he's eliminated. So I got him out of the way, and so I took it with the infantry unit. And then I said, the heck with Brest. If he really wants to spend a surprise attack marker to move around and take it, I don't think I can hold it much longer anyway. And if I get him to use, he doesn't really have, he can't invade with the Malta guy because he doesn't have any other ground units in England. So he'd have to invade with like the 7th from the Mulberry. And then, try and figure out some way to hold the Mulberry. So I was worthwhile to run out of Brest, go over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and attack the 10th with these two guys. So I'm 2 +1 is 3 -1. He starts off at -1. I start off on a net +2. Go to combat commitment. Right? Yep. Combat commitment. He goes throw in his airplane. I throw in mine. He's at -2, so he can't get more than, he can't get a DD on me, and I only have 1 sortie, so we don't need to roll dice. Also throw my ground support. He throws his tanks, and I throw my tanks. So it's like throw everything into the pot here and see where we end up. He ends up at a net +1. I started off at 2 +1 is 3, 4, 5, 6, -1. +5 to +1. And now he doesn't have any retreat, so even a retreat's good here. And I rolled a 6 +5 is 11. Even at a 6, +1 is a 7. 7 to an 11 is he's eliminated, so he doesn't even bother to roll. I just take it, put my infantry there, and say, well, what the heck, I did my thing. Rolled a 3 for my ground support, and tanks go on the turn track. And this infantry that was up here goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To try and slow down any British run-throughs here. Then the Africa army over in the east, I had it way up north, and I'm like, well, I think I actually have to kind of move it to here. And I did an assault from these 3 guys. And he was the primary, so I was 2, 3, 4, -1, +3 to his +2. I throw in an air, I don't think we're at combat commitment. Yeah. It was like, no brainer. He's throwing in an airplane, I believe it's his 0, one of his 0 airplanes. So he's at -2 and I'm at -4. So I rolled, I end up with a 1, he rolls a 5, -2 is a 3, so I take 2 sorties. So my Danzig guy is used up. But I do get in, so now I'm 2, 3, 4, 5, -1. I'm +4 to his +3. Why is he up to 5? Oh no, that's me. 5 -1. I'm at 3. I was 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minus 1. I should have been plus 4. I'm only looking at plus 3. Well, that was wrong. I should have been a plus 4. So it was 2, 3, 4, plus 1 for the airplane, plus 5, minus 1. Oh, no, he's in his city. That's right. Right? He's in his city. So, yeah, that's plus 3 to plus 3. I rolled an 8. He rolled an 8, so nothing happened. I moved the Panzer out down to here. Kind of keep the Russians from busting through across the Danube right away. Hopefully, in poor weather. I don't know why we're doing that. I don't know. I think we were talking about things that could happen there. Anyway, I took the airplane that was in Venice, and I said it's really not doing me any good against the British. Went ahead and flew it up into Dusseldorf, and the reason why I did that is I was afraid of him trying to do, even in poor weather, trying to do a dash to Rotterdam. Now at least I have an airplane that can help defend those guys. So that's what that was all about. And I think I'm done. Moved to garrison up to just be a space behind Budapest in case he retreats both armor and tries to run through here or something. Somehow, I just being paranoid. So here comes the first Canadian. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he didn't have enough to attack. Goes in and attacks at Plaslov. He's +1 for armor, +1 for British, +1 for an airplane that he's going to throw in. And then he'll be minus 1, 2, 3. 1 for the weather, 1 for the rough terrain, 1 for the ridge. So he's going to end up at 0 to 0. He rolls a 3. I rolled a 6, so that stopped that. And then he moves this guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I think that he does maybe something up in the west. Oh, he plays games here with his convoys, I think. Maybe. I'm not sure what he's done. Oh, no, he brings the British convoy from over in Brindisi or whatever. He brought it up to Marseille. And now I think we're in the up here in France. And I think he attacks the Hungarian. Yeah, he attacked the Hungarian at 1, 2, 3, minus 1. So he's +2 to my -2. He rolled a 6. I rolled a 5, -2 is a 3, so I wasn't flipped and therefore eliminated. I got to retreat. Just trying to figure out where I wanted to retreat to. And then this guy, what he attacks? Oh, he attacks the armored unit. He's +2, +1 for an airplane, so it's +2 to +3. He rolled a 5, I rolled a 6. So let's stop that. And he's doing his supply. Oh, he started to do supplies. Said, bombers, bombers. And he flew his bombers. I told him I wasn't going to intercept with a 5. I couldn't stop him. Couldn't even give him an extra sortie. So now he's just doing his supply here. And he's done with the Brits. And we're off to the Soviets. And now we're... he was looking to see what airplanes he could fly to take out the 4th Luft. And I think he uses the 4th Air. Yeah, -2 to -4. He rolls 6, -2 is 4, so no matter what I do, best I can get's 2, so I'll take 2 sorties. He gets 2 for 1. He's getting lots of 2 for 1s for that. And then he attacks the 10th. with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -1 starts off at +4, and then I think he throws in. And I threw in an airplane from somewhere. Königsberg, maybe. So he ends up at +4 net to my +2. Throws in a tanks as well to make it +5. He shouldn't be +6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, he is. 6, 7. So he's +6 to my +2. He rolls a 3 + 6 is a 9. And I rolled a 5. So I'm flipped. And then he's going to move some other dudes. There's this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this guy goes 1, 2. Brings down this guard's army to attack here. Gets that shock army out of the way and moves this guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to attack there. So he's +2 plus an airplane, I think. So I think he's going to end up being net +2. To my 0. He rolls a 4 + 2 is a 6. And I rolled a 4, which. Oops, why am I doing undo? So I'm eliminated. And he takes the hex. No, he moves this armored unit 1, 2, 3, 4. And these two guys move in to go into there to try and attack another one. Push me back. Throws in a tanks. So ends up with this guy's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for an airplane. -1 for the weather. +4. He rolls a 6. I roll a 3 + 2 is a 5, so I hold. Not sure what he's doing down here. This guards goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they go after this guy. So it's like 2. I think that's a shock army. 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't remember if he plays a tanks here. I know he plays an airplane. Okay. He just throws an airplane. Right now he's 5 -2 is a 3. An airplane makes him a 4. And I think he throws a tanks in here, or heavy artillery. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -2. +4 to +2. And then he throws an airplane, tanks to make it +5 to +2. Rolls a 4 + 5 is a 9. I roll 5 + 2 is a 7. I thought I had to retreat, and he's like, no, 7 doesn't retreat you. You hold the hex. I went, oh, wow. I didn't realize I was doing that well. So then I think he comes and does the attack down here on the armored unit. No, he attacks the 2nd Panzer. So it's 3. I thought he was attacking the 2nd Panzer. He's actually attacking the 4th. So he's 1, 2. I think this guy's 2, 3, 4, 5 for an airplane. This one, so he gets a 5 + 4 is a 9. I rolled a 4 + 3 is a 7, so I held. So I'm holding out right now, and then he does this attack down here. He's 1, 2, 3 -2. Throws in an airplane to make it 2 to 2. He rolls a 1. I rolled a 4 + 2. So held that hex too. And I'm not sure that he. Moves guards army 4. So we kind of highlighted the 5 guys that are holding his hex. You'll see me do that again later on. making sure that he's within his 5 units of home defense. And he said, I'm done. So we skip through the no supply phase. We get into replacements. I replaced my airplane. 2 airplanes in the west. I think that's all I did because I've got a bunch of stuff to build. And I don't have that many points. I've only got 4 points left. I want to make sure I get that paratrooper out, so. And now this is the British just doing their thing. Oops, doing backs, sorry. And the British are just kind of going through and saying, hey, let's go take our stuff back. Because I don't have anything to stop him, so he's just taking sorties off left, right, and center. Americans as well. And now he's doing the Soviets. Boom, boom. And we go into upgrades. There were no upgrades. We get to production, and the Germans build 4. I built the para, an infantry, 2 infantries, and a garrison. And then I placed the para in the west, an infantry in Breslau, infantry in Vienna, and a garrison in the west. Then I said, now let's put it in the south, put it in Munich. Now we'll put it in Stuttgart. I couldn't make up my mind where I wanted the fricking garrison to go. And then he gets the first, which I had killed last turn, comes back at the end of this turn, and he had also had the 9th on the way, so now he's got 2 more American armies coming. And then we go into the end of turn phase. So I move my infantry armies down into the box. The Germans got a tanks, ground support. Russians get back their tanks. I got my surface action back. I've got my SS Panzer unit. Oh, I'm hitting backs. Dang it. Got an SS Panzer unit in my heavy artillery. He's got like markers left, right, and center. He's got partisans and free forces and surprise attack markers and airborne. Lots of British or Russian tanks and a surprise attack marker. And his fighter for the Americans. So he's got lots of stuff and British units to build. So then we roll the weather, as is our wont. So we'll bring that up. And I rolled a 1-6-2. Boy, he was disappointed that I rolled that 6 again. So in June, a 1 in June in the cold zone is fair. A 6 in the warm zone, in the mild zone, is a poor again. And of course, 2 makes it fair in the Mediterranean, in the warm zone. So, not doing too badly for everything that's been going on against me. I've been fortunate. I've had, May and June both came up poor here in the mild zone, so no huge breakthroughs now, but come July, it's going to happen. There's nothing I can do about it. He's got surprise attack markers and lots of waiting units just waiting to attack me, and he's going to outclass me in all the important things because I will have 28 next turn, but that's probably going to be the last time I'm ever at 28. So, yeah, there you have it. That was April and May of 1944. Poor weather's coming in June. We'll be back with that episode next time around. As always, I'm Dren608. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit that like button so that algorithms for YouTube keep these things up where people can find them. And until we meet again, stay safe and bye-bye.